I have no witty intro for this video. So hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be reacting to yet another Wikihow article. Today I'm going to be changing up a little bit. Previous to this video I've been reacting to cosplay related Wikihow articles, but today instead I thought I would change it up and instead react to a convention related Wikihow article talking about basically attending conventions. I thought that would be a nice change up, so that's what we're going to be doing today. But before we get into it, I just wanted to quickly thank our sponsor for today's video, Traffic Puzzle. Traffic Puzzle is a mobile game that combines match 3 elements and visual riddles to create a unique brain quiz, with each level being different and unique. The game starts out easy and relaxing to kind of hook you in, but as you go along, it gradually gets more and more challenging. As you keep going along, it challenges you more and more and kind of works your brain more and more, which is really, really nice. So it's not only a fun game to play, but it also kind of helps give your brain a little bit of a workout, which I really appreciate it. I personally have been really, really enjoying it, so it's definitely a game that I recommend checking out. Traffic Puzzle is free to play, and you can download it using the link in the description. I personally have reached level 60, so you can download the game and try and get to level 60 to help me complete that level. Like I said, I've really been enjoying Traffic Puzzle. It's a very fun and satisfying game to play, so I definitely recommend checking it out. And checking out Traffic Puzzle, of course, also helps the channel. A huge thank you to Traffic Puzzle for sponsoring today's video. All of that said, let's get into today's Wikihow reaction video. So if you guys remember, the first Wikihow article that I reacted to was actually surprisingly good. I was very, very pleasantly surprised by it. The one that I reacted to after that was not so great. It had body shaming in it, so that was not very good. I did not appreciate that. So I'm hoping that we will have an experience today that's closer to the first Wikihow article that I reacted to. I hope that this will be a pleasant surprise. This is how to attend an anime convention. I, of course, have been going to anime conventions for 11 years now, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm gonna fact check this article, react to it, and see if Wikihow is indeed teaching people the correct things on how to go to anime conventions. So let's get into it. Okay, you've watched hours of your favorite anime. You subscribed to manga magazines and invested in buying the volumes. You've ordered posters online of your favorite characters, and now you're ready to attend an anime convention. You should start by registering for the convention and preparing for the convention before you get there. Once you arrive, you should try to enjoy yourself as much as possible. I mean, yeah, no shit. I mean, like... You do want to register for the convention and you do want to have a fun time. They're not wrong there. Part 1 of 3, registering for the convention. 1, research anime conventions in your area. Before you attend an anime convention or con, you will need to find one that fits with your interests and your budget. There are many anime conventions throughout the world and in North America. Some cons are massive events with thousands of people in attendance for several days of fun. Others are smaller events where you have a smaller crowd and can experience the con in a few hours. You should consider how much you can afford to spend on travel for the con and how much you are willing to take to the con. Okay, so far they are totally correct. Some are bigger, some are smaller, some only last for 1 day, most of them last for 3 days, but there are some conventions that only last for 1 day. And of course, when you're choosing convention, you want to obviously weigh your budget. Typically, the con that's closest to you is going to be the cheapest one to go to. Bigger conventions have a longer list of things to do, but they can be overwhelming for first-time attendees. You may want to go to a specific anime convention to see an anime celebrity or to experience a particular subgenre of anime with other attendees. I think that's a really good point. Bigger conventions, I think if it's your first time, they can be very overwhelming. Bigger conventions, you're going to have more things to do, and if you're looking for a more kind of specialized type of content, it's more likely that you'll find it there. But if it is your first time going, it is probably going to be overwhelming going to a larger convention. Like when you go to SakuraCon in Seattle, that's 20,000 people, and if it's your first time being in a crowd like that, I could totally see that being overwhelming. Whereas if you go to a smaller convention, like for me, a smaller anime convention is TsukinoCon, it usually has about 2,000 people. That's a lot kind of more manageable if it's your first time. So I think that's a really good point that they're making, to maybe not tackle huge conventions on your first time. You can research different anime conventions at animecons.com. Yes, that is a very good website for finding anime conventions, which lists almost every anime convention in the world by region, country, and state. You can also look at the 10 largest anime conventions in North America on animecons.com. That is a great website to use. I totally recommend it. Really glad that they had that, because that's a very good resource, and it's nice because it doesn't just tell people to go Google anime conventions in their area. It gives them a specific specific website. And like I keep saying, animecons.com is very, very good. Some of the largest conventions include Anime Expo in Los Angeles, California, the Anime North. I don't think it's called the Anime North. It's just called Anime North. Anime North in Toronto, Ontario, and Anime Central in Rosemont, Illinois. So far, everything that they're saying is accurate. 2. Select a convention based on your budget. You should determine how much money you and any companions coming with you can afford to spend on the anime convention. At the minimum, you will need to budget for the anime convention badge, buying food, purchasing anime merchandise, and preparing your cosplay if you are doing one. If you decide to travel for an anime convention, you will need to budget for transportation to and from the con as well as accommodations. Smaller anime conventions usually cost around $30 for a pre-registered badge. Larger anime conventions can cost $50 to $60 for a badge. They can go higher than that, but I think these ballpark ranges are pretty accurate, yeah. You may also need to factor renting a hotel room or a homestay as well as transportation such as an airplane ticket or parking and gas for a car. You may decide to go with friends or a partner to cut down on the cost of the anime convention, especially if you are on a tight budget. Absolutely, you typically want to go with 3 other people so that you can split a hotel room 4 ways. That's how we always do it, and that's usually the cheapest route. 3. Register early. You should always try to pre-register for anime cons as it will cost you less to attend and you will get to wait in a shorter line to pick up your badge. If you decide to pre-register, you should make sure you are able to attend as most anime con badges are non-refundable and non-transferable. This is all completely accurate. They kind of work on a tier system. So the first tier is going to be the cheapest tier, and that lasts from one date to another date. And then once you cross a certain date, it drops to the next tier, which is a little bit more expensive. And that lasts from one date to another date. And then it drops to like the 3rd tier, and that's later. I don't know if I'm explaining it super well. In the pre-registration process, the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets because they're moving through those different timed tiers. So for example, if you register from like April until May, it will be one price. And then if you register between May and June, it will be a different price, like that kind of thing. It works through a tier system. So basically what they're saying is accurate. The earliest you register, the cheaper it's going to be, but you want to make sure that you're actually going to be able to go to the convention because you won't be able to get a refund for your ticket. Yes, all of this is accurate. You should also be sure that you are able to attend all 3 days of the anime convention. If you are going to a larger convention before you pre-register, you may need to request days off at work or clear your schedule on the convention days so you have enough time to experience the convention. If you do not pre-register for the anime convention, you can still pick up your pass at the door, but it will likely be more expensive and you'll have to wait in a longer line. This is correct. So pre-registration lineups are usually very small. Actual registration on the day is usually really long, and that's a problem because if you're going to be spending hours, it can be hours waiting in a lineup, that's going to cut into your time actually enjoying the convention. So you're going to get more for your money if you pre-register because you can then get a cheaper price because at-the-door prices are usually quite expensive. So you'll get a cheaper price, you'll be able to experience more of the convention because you're not spending hours waiting in line. You're able to pick up your pass usually the day before the convention. You can pick it up on any day of the convention, but pre-registration, unlike at-the-door registration, you can actually pick up the day before the convention starts, so it's not cutting into your actual con time. You can just arrive on the day and you have your badge, you can just go right on in. Yeah, everything that they're covering is totally accurate. Part 2 of 3, preparing for the convention. 1, determine your transportation to the convention. Once you have your anime convention badge, you should consider whether you need to travel to get to the convention, and if so, how you are going to get there. Will you have to fly or can you drive to the convention? Driving may be cheaper, but you should factor in the cost of parking and gas to ensure it is a budget-friendly option. You may have to fly if the convention is far away from where you live, as you will not want to spend too much of your free time commuting to the convention by car. Yes, that is accurate. You should check for flight deals online in the weeks or months leading up to the convention. You may want to give yourself a buffer of 1 day before the convention or arrive the night before so you can get settled into your accommodations before the convention starts. Yes, usually conventions run Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I will book off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday so that I can travel to the convention on Thursday. I have enough time to pick up my badge, and then I'll have the full Friday, Saturday, Sunday to enjoy the convention, and then I travel back on the Monday. Sometimes people will travel back on the Sunday night, because usually Sundays at conventions are shorter. They usually only take place for half a day. So you can still like check out of your hotel in the morning, go to the convention, and then travel back during the evening of the Sunday. But I personally, just for the peace of mind, like having that extra Monday to travel back. It gives you time to kind of settle yourself after the convention and really enjoy it to the fullest, rather than having to worry about, you know, storing your luggage and getting home on time and all that stuff. You should consider other transportation options like taking the train or bus, especially if you are on a tight budget. You should factor in the travel time that will be required if you take the train or the bus and make sure it is worth the effort. Yeah, I usually take the bus and the train to conventions in full cosplay. Public transit is what I've always done, and I've had no problems with it. I've done it in full body paint and it's been fine. So yeah, you can totally do that. 2, decide if you will need accommodations for the convention. If you are traveling outside of your home area for the convention, you will need accommodations. You may go for a hotel or a motel, especially if you're traveling with companions, and you can split the cost of the room. Like I said, splitting it 4 ways is usually best. Or you may see if you have friends you can stay with for a few nights during the convention to cut costs. That's something that I always do with my cosplay friends. I usually offer my house up if friends are traveling from out of town, or if I'm going to, say for example, Seattle, I have a cosplay friend over there who I usually stay with. So it's kind of like this trade-off. You get to stay with other people for a convention, and then they'll stay with you for a certain convention, depending on like where the convention is taking place. So yes, that is a very good way to do it. You should check with the anime convention to see if they have reserved hotel rooms for attendees close to the convention center. Some larger anime cons offer discounted rates to attendees. These rooms tend to fill up fast, so try to reserve them right after you buy your badge or as soon as they become available. Yeah, so this is a thing that anime conventions do. They will have what are called blocks in hotel rooms. So they basically reserve a chunk of rooms in a hotel and offer them at a discounted rate for attendees. So if you go through the anime convention's website, and they'll usually have like a hotels tab, you can see what deals they have for hotels local, and you can stay in their block of the hotel. Most hotel rooms require you to be at least 18 to 21 years of age to book a hotel room. You are usually allowed no more than 4 people per room. This is true. If you are trying to save money, you may decide to split the hotel 4 ways. Yeah, like I said, that is accurate. Yay! 3, prepare a cosplay. A cosplay is a costume in the style of an anime character. Not specifically an anime character, it can be any character at all, not just anime. You may buy a cosplay or make your own cosplay at home. You should start making your cosplay costume early so it is ready for the convention. Get friends or parents to help you put together your cosplay and have fun making your own version of a beloved anime character or other character. Even if you're going to an anime convention, you can still cosplay from like comics or cartoons or video games or really whatever you want. If you go to an anime convention, you don't have to just cosplay anime. That's what I usually do because I'm not really into a lot of anime series. So if you don't want to cosplay an anime, you don't have to cosplay an anime. That is one thing I will say. Make sure your costume is appropriate for a potentially crowded con if you are going to a larger anime convention. Try to avoid long trailing pieces of clothing that could easily be stepped on or large accessories on your back that could hit people as you turn around. Your costume should allow you to move around easily and see reasonably well. If your costume does limit your vision, recruit a friend to escort you around the con and try to stay aware of your surroundings. If you're cosplaying, practice poses in costume beforehand. That way you'll be ready to strut your stuff when people ask to photograph you. And they will if your costume is halfway decent. Whoa! Hold on! I'm sorry. And they will if your cosplay is halfway decent? What the hell is that? What are they trying to say? Like, if your costume doesn't suck, people might want to take photos of you. What the? That is such an unnecessary thing to put in this article. Wow, Wikihow, what are you doing? Okay, everything was going great until we hit that point. Wow. Yikes. Yikes. Aside from that point, that was very unnecessary. Everything else is accurate. You do want to practice poses beforehand. You want to be aware of how wearing the cosplay is going to be with all your various surroundings. So all of that is accurate. Just that last part was completely unnecessary. They're not saying anything about how cosplay isn't mandatory. When I'm talking to people about conventions and they're new to going to conventions, one of their first questions is, do you have to wear a cosplay? And you absolutely don't have to wear a cosplay. You can go in just regular clothes and that's totally fine. So I do wish that they touched on that and said that, you know, it's not necessary, but you can. Part 4, create a convention survival kit. You should make sure you pack the essentials for the con or a convention survival kit so you are prepared. You should include several key items in your convention survival kit, including a sewing kit, duct tape, and markers to make emergency repairs on your cosplay. I don't know why you'd need markers. I honestly don't know why you would need markers. You definitely don't need markers. This way, if your cosplay gets damaged, you can fix it easily and quickly. This is true. They should also have safety pins in there. Safety pins, bobby pins, a sewing kit, tape, glue gun, these are all good things to bring with you. Definitely, if anything, bring safety pins. Those are lifesavers no matter what. One thing that I will say, it's become less common to bring cosplay repair kits because most conventions nowadays have cosplay repair stations that you can go to. So you just go there and they'll have glue guns, they'll have tape, they'll have safety pins, they'll have everything that you need. So it keeps you from having to lug all this stuff around. So when I go to conventions, I don't usually bring any of these things because the conventions I'm going to will have these cosplay repair stations. Loose cash to spend on food and souvenirs. You may want to set a budget so you do not spend too much money on clothing, posters, DVDs, books, and other merchandise at the con. This is, yep, completely accurate. You do want to have loose cash because you're dealing with vendors and not all vendors will accept card. A camera and extra batteries or a plug-in charger. You will likely be taking lots of pictures of other cosplayers and anime celebrities, so make sure your camera is always charged and ready to go. This is accurate. You can also just bring your phone. You don't have to bring a camera, you know, either or, but it is good to bring a phone charger for sure. Make sure that you always have a phone charger. Photo ID with you as well as loose cash and debit or credit cards. You do want to have your photo ID because when you pick up your badges or when you're registering for the convention at the event, you need to have a photo ID to prove it's you. So always make sure you have a photo ID with you. Water and snacks for when you get hungry between meals, as well as sunscreen. You may end up lining up outside and get into the venue, and you do not want to get sunburned in the process. I usually just put sunscreen on before the convention and it lasts throughout the entire day. You can bring it with you, but as long as you put a lot of it on at the beginning of the day, I think you'll be totally fine. But yeah, everything else that they're saying is accurate. 5, read the convention guide and make a schedule of events. Most anime cons have a schedule of events on their website for a few weeks before the con starts. You should read the convention guide and highlight events or celebrities you would like to see. You may collaborate with your companions to make sure you all see who you want during the con. You should also make sure you have enough time throughout the day to see everything. You may block off your schedule and make a plan day by day. You can then adjust the schedule once you get to the con if necessary. You should look at the list of food options on the convention's website or around the convention. This way you know what to expect for food options and can budget accordingly. You may end up bringing food with you or eating at your accommodations to save money. Yeah, so these are both really good points. It's good to look at the schedule and figure out what stuff you want to take in. That's totally accurate. My friends and I, typically we just get to the convention and we kind of just improvise. Like, we don't often look at the stuff that we want to take in, which is not a great habit. You really want to make the most out of the money that you're paying to be there. So I like to try and go to events wherever possible, but I'm really bad at kind of scouting those events out beforehand. So what they're saying is good. You don't want to have too strict of a schedule. Like, it's good to have kind of a loose schedule and kind of, you know, change it around as you go, but it is obviously good to figure out who and what you want to see. Also, if you're doing cosplay and you want to do photo shoots, scheduling those in with photographers is important. So yeah, having kind of a loose schedule is good, but don't make it too rigid. And then, yeah, looking at food is very important because there are a lot of conventions where there just aren't really any food options around the convention. So you have to be a little bit creative in how you get your food, whether you're going to be packing a lunch or you go outside of the convention area to find a place to eat. But yeah, it is definitely good to figure out what options you have and always make sure to eat at a convention. That's one thing that a lot of people skip out on, is eating. Don't do that. Always make sure to eat at a convention. All right, part 3 of 3, enjoying yourself at the convention. 1, wear comfortable clothes and shoes. If you are not cosplaying, you should make sure you are wearing comfortable clothes and walking shoes, as you will likely be on your feet most of the day. The convention may be hot once you are inside the venue, so you may want to dress in layers to stay comfortable. You should also make sure your cell phone is fully charged and your camera is fully charged. If you are with friends, you should exchange numbers so you can find each other in the event you get separated or lost. Yes, this is a very good idea. Everything that they're saying, totally accurate. You want to make sure that you're dressed appropriately because you're going to do so much walking at a convention. Like that, you need to make sure you have good walking shoes because it's going to be so much walking. So absolutely, that's good. The phone charger, the camera charger, all of that stuff, make sure that you have that with you. Making sure that you have everybody's contact info, that's very important. Everything that they're saying is very good. 2, arrive early. You should plan to arrive at least 30 minutes to an hour before the anime convention opens so you can get in line. This will also give you enough time to pick up your badge in the convention and experience all the events of the con. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to do that. For me, if I get to a convention like before noon, it's a miracle. If you're getting your tickets at the door rather than getting pre-registered tickets, then yes, you do want to be lining up, 30 minutes to an hour before they open the doors in order to get into a shorter line, because the line is going to get long very quickly. But if you're picking up pre-registration, it's really not that big of an issue. You can really arrive at the con at any time and the line won't change too much. Or if you can, go to the convention on the Thursday of the convention before it actually opens to pick up your pre-registration badge, so that you can just literally walk right into the convention on the actual Friday when it starts. Yeah, so what they're saying there is not actually, like, it's not necessary. I guess, like, if you're really doing things by the book and you really want to, see all the things and maximize your time there, then yes, you can get there, half an hour before it opens, but it's not necessary. Like, I am never there when it opens. I am always there really late, so it's really up to you. You should also be sure to arrive early for events that you know are going to be popular, such as meet and greets with an anime celebrity. Lining up early will ensure you use your time at the convention well and increase your chances of getting into popular events. That is correct. Stuff like cosplay contests, actor Q&As, those get very, very popular. So for panels like those, you do want to line up like half an hour-ish before the doors open in order to actually get in line. Especially the bigger the con, the more important that's going to be. If it's a smaller convention, getting into those events isn't going to be as difficult, but if it's a big convention, if it's a big event at a big convention, then yes, you absolutely want to get there before it starts and line up. So I'm glad that they put that in there. That's important. 3, split up if you have different interests than your companions. You and your friends may end up having different events or booths that you want to check out. You may end up splitting up and agree to meet back later at a popular spot in the convention center. Make sure you all have each other's contact information and an agreed upon meeting spot and time. The con may be very crowded, so this will prevent you all from losing each other. Yeah, that's a good idea. That happens with my friends and I. Sometimes we all have different interests in terms of, events and stuff that we want to do, so it is easier if we all just kind of split up and then agree to meet back at a designated time and place. So yeah, I'm glad that they put that in there. That is totally accurate. 4, socialize with other convention attendees. You may be going to anime conventions to look at other people's cosplay and get merchandise of your favorite manga. Or you may go to the con to show off your cosplay and bond with other cosplay attendees. Try to socialize with the others at the con and be friendly with other attendees. You may get pictures with anime celebrities or request a picture of someone's cosplay. Try to give cosplayers room when they are walking around the convention so their cosplay does not get damaged. Have fun and try to experience the con to the fullest. Okay, one thing that I will say, the whole cosplay is not consent. Don't take people's photos without permission. I wish that they had that in there because that's really, really important. If you're taking a photo of someone, make sure just to ask to take their photo beforehand. Don't just kind of sneak a photo of them. Cosplayers do not like that. But aside from that, that's pretty accurate. Yeah, nothing much to add to this last part aside from, asking people's permission to take photos. And that is the end of the article. So overall, I think this article was very thorough and made really good points. I was quite pleasantly surprised by it. It does say that it's for anime conventions, but you can use all these pointers to go to really any kind of convention. The only difference between an anime convention and a comic convention is the content of the convention. So if you go to an anime convention, the panels and all the programming are going to be specific usually to anime and video games, whereas if you go to a comic convention, all of the content is going to be specifically for North American media, so comics, cartoons, live action movies, stuff like that. But in terms of what you can cosplay and the guidelines that you should be following and registration and all that, they're pretty much identical. So it says that's for anime conventions. This article really is a how-to for going to conventions in general. Things that I have to say about it, the whole thing about if your cosplay is halfway decent, people might want to take photos of you. I think that's completely unnecessary to put that in there. It's just a sucky thing to say to new cosplayers. Completely unnecessary. I don't know why that's in there. I don't like it. And then the other part is I really wish that they talked about cosplay is not consent and how, don't touch people without their permission and don't take their photos without permission. I think that's a really important thing to have in a convention going article. So I really wish that was in there because they were kind of going in that direction with the last part of the article and then they didn't put that in there. But aside from that, everything that they said in this article was accurate. It's a very helpful article for going to conventions. This is definitely advice that I would give people. For the most part, I'd give it a thumbs up. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. I have to say, reading this convention article really made me miss conventions. I really I really wish we could go to conventions right now, but hopefully once conventions open up, eventually, this will be a helpful resource for all of you watching. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching. I hope that you found this video helpful, especially for all of you who are new to conventions. If you are new here and you'd like to see more cosplay related videos, I put out new videos every Sunday and it would be awesome to have you here, so feel free to subscribe and join the Panda fam. Also, a quick reminder, if you want to check out Traffic Puzzle, which was our sponsor for today's video, I will have a link down in the description for you guys to go and check it out. Thank you again so much for hanging out with me today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys all next time, but until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!